classic at its best. This is a 1998 Porsche Boxster 2.5 flat six. It is really, really a classic in my book. 26 years old, it qualifies, and it's only 199,000 Rand right now. Hi, I'm Alan R from MotorMatters, Change Cars and all things motoring, and this is one of our series of classics. 1998 Porsche Boxster, the 986 generation as they call it. 2.5 litre flat six engine, approximately 150 kilowatts, but it's not about that. It's about the open top lifestyle, open top motoring, and it is a Porsche. I can tell you now, it handles like a Porsche. It goes like a Porsche. It sits squat on the road. It is a fun car to drive. It is a pleasure to drive. This one's a 5-speed manual even, believe it or not. But to me, for sale right now at 199,000 Rand, it sounds pretty good. An absolute classic as far as I'm concerned. The Porsche Boxster, which was launched originally in the early 1990s as the baby to the 911. There are so many similarities to the 911, like the headlight over here you can see, and it got changed. I think they called this the egg-shaped headlight when it came along in the 911 at one stage. But it's the baby brother in some ways, and in other ways it's up to you, of course, but it is a quintessential Porsche as far as I'm concerned. Of course, you know me, I have to have the top down on any convertible when I have one around. And it just has classic lines, it really does. The earlier Boxsters, as this one, came with a flat six engine, 2.5 litres in this particular one. And it puts out approximately, or it did, when it was new, 150 kilowatts. But that's not what this car's about. It really isn't. It's a mid-engine, by the way. Mid-engine, so you can imagine the road holding. You'll see a bit of it on the road. You'll see what I'm talking about. It just has incredible road holding. The top is powered. I'm just leaving it down because that's the way I like it, where you manually just clip it at the front onto the windscreen, or detach it when you want to drop it or open it. It's little things like that that make all the difference. And you can see over here as well, this is a really good feature as well, is this little screen over here, the wind deflector they call it, which just really makes it much quieter in the cabin, much more pleasant for cruising purposes. Also notice you do have a tiny bit of space behind the seats, depending obviously on how tall you are, for a bit of stowage space. I'm going to show you stowage space in a moment because that's a feature of the Boxster as well. And just wait till I show you what I'm talking about. I mentioned it is a mid-engine. So, very interesting, there is a boot at the back, rather small. So let's just see what the Allen test says on the boot. Very, very tight, as you can see. I think I'm going to call this a half Allen boot, not even one Allen boot. But don't despair. Once I extract myself, let me just show you something else. A feature obviously of the mid-engine is your oil and water, etc. That's where you check them, at the back over here. But as they say in the classics, but that's not all. Because if I pop that one, then let's come around here and have another look. Because in modern language, it has what they call a frunk, or a front trunk, I suppose, if you really want to be clever. So you've got two boots. Now let's have another look. This one's deep. This one's really deep. And I'm going to say this one is pretty much a 1 Allen boot. So between the two, I'm going to give the Boxster a 1.5 Allen boot rating. Not too bad at all. And note, you have got a little space saver spare wheel up front here as well. Practical packaging is what this car is all about. Out on our famous MotorMatters road trip. Yes, we're out in the country. This is a 1998 model Porsche 986 Boxster. It's the manual 5-speed. It's got a 2.5 litre flat 6 engine that when you put out about 150 kilowatts, but it's the open top that matters. It's the roof down, it's the cruising. I'm not interested in driving this car on the limits. No, come on, it's not about that. It's about this cruise I'm on. And let me tell you, there is a magic to driving a Porsche. Which one do you want to, how do you want to say it? There is just an absolute magic in being behind the wheel of this car. It does not feel like it's 26 years old. It really doesn't. Goes beautifully, it looks good, it feels solid. It's just everything I could want. And you know me, if you're regular, if you're one of my subscribers, you know I love a convertible. You know I love driving with the top down. And to me, this is the way to live. It's a weekend. It's the 20-something of May, which means it's supposed to be winter in South Africa. And we've got a beautiful, beautiful day like this. It's absolutely perfect. I'm in my element. Now, what's even better? I'll repeat this during the video more often. You could get this car right now from Insure Motors for 200,000 Rand. I repeat, 199. This could just be the perfect weekend car for my personal garage. That's absolutely for sure. Of course, maybe showing its age, but also just classic sports car. Look at the analog instrumentation. You've got the 3 circular, as I'm sure you can see, with the rev counter taking pride of place in the center. That speaks sports car. It's something that has been always sports car like, and it works very, very well in my book. Obviously, the steering wheel, going back to the age, there are no buttons. But so what? And no fancy screens in the center. No, again, I think the car's just a little bit older than that. But I'm being harsh on it in those respects, aren't I? Look at this. Nice, short, stubby 5-speed manual gearbox. The clutch is a bit heavy, but then again, it's a classic sports car. And look at the color, the trim, this tan color. Obviously the leather on the seats, the trim on the doors, and the whole dash with the contrasting black. It looks neat, it looks smart, and it just feels, this car is 26 years old, but it feels solidly put together. It really does. It feels like it was well put together when it was built, and it's still solid and well put together now. It's got 143,000 kilometers on the clock. So it's not brand new. And maybe it doesn't feel brand new, but it feels good to me. So all I can say as a summary is a Porsche is a Porsche. In my book, it's a classic. Not even a future classic. I think it qualifies as a classic already. And you can get this one from my friends at Insure Motors for 199,000 Rand right now. Not a bad price in my book for a car of this sort that can give you many more years of pleasure and fun motoring and wind in the hair, if that's what you're looking for. So, for a classic car review from MotorMatters, Change Cars, and all things motoring, I'm Alan R, and I'll see you next time.
Hello, my name is Michael. I'm the owner of Change Cars and the host of the TV show All Things Motoring. I have one mission, and that is to make a difference to the motoring public. Making a difference how? Making sure that you have safe options, making sure that you have knowledge. In that regard, it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to work with Alan Rosenmeyer of MotorMatters. The man with a hat, I'm the man with no hat, he's the man with the knowledge. Thank you for watching.